Good morning. Regarding this endemic grooming, this is sexual abuse of young white girls and a few Sikh girls by a certain group of men. They always seem to belong to a certain ideology. Well, there shouldn't be any big surprise to anyone that's read about this ideology, like I have, because in their holy writings, as they call them, they are allowed to. Yes, they are. Yes, we are the lowliest of beasts. They are the supreme beings on earth. They are allowed to control, to inherit the whole earth. This book says, quote, "You are the rightful masters of the entire earth." As we know, the classist Labour Party and supremacist police and council workers, they hate the chavs. They hate the chavs. They love these people, even though these people hate them, intrinsically hate them. They've hated them since 600 AD. But, of course, according to these Labour lefties, oh yes, I mean, they completely hate the working class now. They completely hate the chav people, the people on low wages, because they're all driving around in Audis and BMWs and getting loads of power and getting £120,000 a year jobs as councillors. And they're getting these people in. Regarding our patriots, like the likes of Anne-Marie Waters, Tommy Robinson, Paul Golding, yes, of course, they must be bigots because they speak ill of this ideology. This ideology that did, in fact, wipe out 600 years of Christianity. Yes, who do you think was in control of the entire Middle East for over 600 years before this certain thug, psychotic thug on the Arabian Peninsula had his delusions? Back in, 620 AD. Yes, it was the Christians with a Jewish element. The Christians were in control of the whole Middle East. There were hundreds and hundreds, 700 dead cities and towns. Google this. Google 700 dead cities. And just in one part of Syria, around Idlib and Aleppo, there are 700 abandoned old Christian towns and cities, and it's quite ornate churches. I mean, it just shows what they did. They dragged off all their children as sex slaves. They massacred all the men, as this old 7th century guy did on the Arabian Peninsula. And as I say, there's a new case just come out in Bolton. This is because it's all over the country, but the police and the Labour Party have been telling them, shut, don't investigate them, ignore FGM, female genital mutilation, ignore loads of working class girls getting raped and pregnant and going missing, and there have been girls murdered by these people, as Charlene Downs in Blackpool, and there's dozens of others that they just refuse to investigate. As we see, it's also going on in Bolton. This is another case. This was the Rochdale case. But there's dozens and dozens of cases, and we're not allowed to report on them because that might be seen as racist, mightn't it? Oh yes. As we know, Tommy Robinson was falsely jailed for reporting on a group of groomers in Huddersfield. Well, the first 20 have been jailed. There's a few more being jailed. These are the first 20. But in total, just in Huddersfield, the Yorkshire town, which I've been to a few times, there are 77 of these people. 77 in one town, and that's not the lot. Last year, there were 72 that were jailed. And they all follow the same ideology. I don't think I'm allowed to mention which ideology they follow, but I think the names might give you a clue. We don't sound too, like, native British, like Nazarat Hussain, Sajid Hussain, who have we got? Faisal Nadim, Mohammed Azim, Wikraz Muhammad, Manzoor Hassan, Niaz Ahmed, Mohammed Imran Beibar, Asif Basir. We don't sound too traditionally like Smith, Jones, Archer, you know, do they? We don't sound too Scottish or too English to me. So I'll leave it up to you to decide what ideology you might follow. I don't think it's likely to be Christianity, but they've admitted already it's in 71 towns at least, and cities all over the country. And I've seen it in my town, even 24 years ago. Saw these poor girls coming out of these migrant-filled, illegal, immigrant-filled kebab houses, who are now with the Just Eat network, and they're in a right mess. I spoke to a couple of them, offered to be witnesses, and I told two female police officers up where I am in Cheshire, and they just turned around and said, well, it's the city girl's own fault, isn't it? So, well, partially, yeah, but they're 12 and 13. Don't you feel a bit sorry for them? I do. At this time, I had a baby on the way, who turned out to be a little girl, who's a grown adult now. And you can imagine, you know, I was quite upset by this, seeing these doing it every night, especially at the weekends. If the girls have had a few vodkas, well, that makes it even easier, doesn't it? You come back and be my boyfriend, I'll be my girlfriend, I look after you, I got loads of money. That's sweet FA. He was working for £15 a night. But, you know, when you're 13, 14, especially if you've got a car, you know, they believe it. And they just use them and abuse them. They'll get them upstairs above a kebab house and they'll rape every orifice. There's been cases where they've nailed the tongue to tables, they've branded the backsides with white hot paper clips, they've shoved claw hammers up their vaginas